Welcome to the Biz Bash podcast, where we make biz strategy a piece of cake. I'm Elizabeth.
And I'm Cami, but you might know us better as Eliza and Calligraphy and Cami Monet. We want to help you, our fellow stationers, artists, and calligraphers, confidently build a profitable and personality-driven creative biz.
We're here to share our honest-to-goodness advice and actionable strategies for ambitious artists.
So put on your party hat, quit being a procrastinator gator, and let's get this party started.
Welcome back to the Biz Birthday Bash podcast, all you Biz Bash babes and gentlemen. If you're out there listening, we're super excited to have you back today for a wonderful episode called Building Your Stationery Business, Where to Sell, What to Sell, and How to Grow, featuring Erin Sarpa of Stationery HQ. So welcome, Erin. We're super excited to have you.
Thank you. Excited to be here.
Perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and read a little bit about Erin, just so you guys know a little bit about how she got to where she is today at Stationery HQ. So Erin won her first design contest at 8 years old with a poster to promote reading at the local library. And like so many designers, art was what she did for fun. So imagine her surprise when she found that people could actually get paid to do it. Erin started a design firm right out of college because what's better than no experience and no money to start a business? She hired other women who wanted to have amazing careers, but also have time for their families and live a full life. She had job sharing at the studio long before it was even a thing in Silicon Valley. About 15 years ago, she and her business partner launched a licensed art division, becoming top sellers on tinyprints.com and beating out Martha Stewart's line on Kodak Gallery, which is so cool. Way to go. And the brand eventually graced fabric collections, dinnerware, school supplies, and personal stationery at major national big box stores. So that is quite the resume. And we are just so pumped that you're here to talk to our audience because, as you know, we have a huge audience of stationers. That's probably our biggest audience, to be honest, and they're going to love hearing from you.
Lucky you guys. Aren't they the coolest people ever?
Oh, totally. Yes. The best. So, Erin, we kind of know more about your background, but can you let us know what you're doing now at Stationery HQ and how that kind of led you there?
Yeah, so I'm the creative director at Stationery HQ, and I've been helping them unofficially for years and years. My husband created the Stationery HQ platform after helping Tiny Prints launch their site way back in the day. So once they figured out how to integrate and batch thousands of small jobs into volume printing, they decided, gosh, we could launch this and let everybody use this service. So small design companies have an option for low-cost printing and low quantity. So it's not like the old days where you had to order 1,000 of something to get on a press. So he started it way back then, and I just helped when I had time. I already had my hands full, but they didn't have a creative director to help them with it. And then at the end of 2019, we sold Stationery HQ to a parent company. And at that time, I left my agency after a really long time in the capable hands of my partner and became the full-time creative director so that I could help the new owners keep growing the business and make sure that our customers are still happy, because I feel like they're our friends. Our customers really matter to us, and we have great relationships with them. And I love what I do for Stationery HQ. So I was super psyched that they wanted me to stay on and keep this thing going.
Can I just ask, how did you and your husband meet? Because it sounds like you were both kind of in the design world previously. So is there a story there?
Well, it's a story. It goes like this. I was 18 years old and I snuck into a bar, and my husband, who was an accountant at the time, I think he was 22 or something, was at the bar, and I swear that's how we met. And then I lied to my parents and told them I met him at a church function. So in the beginning, no, we were not in related businesses. But after we were married for a while, he ended up leaving his accounting job to go into printing sales. And I was in design school, and life just worked itself out. So we've been working together and like separate but together for many years. It's actually really cool. I love that he understands my business and I understand his.
Yeah, you kind of share that like collective heart for for what you do, which is, I don't think a lot of couples can necessarily say that, like, unless they're explicitly in business together, right? Which you
Right.
guys weren't at first, but
Right.
sharing kind of that same heart for what you do. Tell us a little bit about Stationery HQ's main offerings and what you're providing most often for your clients and your customers.
Okay, so we do custom stationery and gifts in small quantities at wholesale prices for creative professionals. So there are people who order retail from our site, but the vast majority of our customers are designers that get the wholesale pricing. And our top selling products are pretty much cards. A7 and A2 cards are the thing that's ordered more than anything else. And under normal circumstances, we do a ton of wedding suites. We're really good at using the fine papers and putting a set together that looks beautiful in the end, which doesn't sound like much if you're doing one set at a time. But when you're printing thousands and thousands of cards at a time, to batch up all those pieces in a suite that go together is actually takes a lot of processes and good technology. So we're really good at it. But products seem to sell in cycles. Like funny custom mugs are trending big time, and we're seeing a ton of those coming through our shop for whatever reason. And right now we have a weird number of binders being ordered, and I'm guessing it's because so many people are working from home and kids are going to school at home. And so it's an organizational tool. And so it's a nice gift, but it's practical too. So we're doing a lot of binders right now. So the products trend, I think, depending on what's going on in the world. Hopefully there will be tons of weddings coming back soon. And I think we'll see probably a big increase in wedding suites again.
Makes sense.
Yes. Fingers crossed that we see a big increase.
Yes. I miss weddings.
Oh my goodness. I know. It's so crazy. So given all that you know about the industry and your background and what you see coming through, knowing trends and all that good stuff, what type of stationery or products do you think it's best for businesses to start off selling? Like if you really want to be in the paper industry, should you start off with wedding invitations, greeting cards? Is there a preferred place to start?
So this is a really interesting question. I think the answer comes from who you are and what you like to design more than anything else. And I think there are questions to ask yourself if you're launching your business are, do you want to spend time with people and create an original for every client? So weddings are great because the average order value is high, but you're limited to the time that you have available to spend with them. And finding another bride for your next project might be harder than if you wanted to sell a greeting card that anyone could purchase. Another question would be, do you have a passion for a certain topic or sentiment? Like if you love humor and you want to do funny cards that, touch on real things. If you love that, it'll sell better for you, I think. I think when you're really into what you're doing, that your audience feels it and you'll do better with it. The other question would be, are you looking for a scalable product line that's easy to grow? So if you are, then maybe custom one-off items aren't the answer because each one, you need to fill in the information or set up your website to fill in the information and print them one at a time or 10 cards at a time. Where if you were just printing, wall calendars that were not custom, you could do those by the thousands at a time. And it would take you the same amount of time to print one as it takes to print 500. So I think those are the questions to ask yourself are, how do you want to spend your time? How much money are you trying to make? But an easy answer, like a easy way into selling stationery would be to start with flat card sets because they're really inexpensive to produce. I think on our site with the wholesale discount, I think it's maybe $4 for a set of 10 A7 cards. Don't quote me because I'm not looking at our pricing right now, but it's right in that zone. It's like really inexpensive. So easy, no big barriers to entry. It's easy to set up files for a flat card and you have a big potential audience because you're selling it at a pretty low price point, which is easy for a buyer to purchase. It's not a hard decision when it's an under $10 item typically.
Right. So when you are saying flat cards, is that kind of like personalized, not even personalized, but
just like social stationery.
Social stationery.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Thank you cards. Yeah. And it could be custom or not custom. Yeah.
I know. Cause I'm kind of thinking, I'm like, maybe I want to add some cute little like social stationery sets to my website. Cause I think what Cammie and I have found out, and I loved your answer for this, it's so much your intention, I guess, of what you want to set out to do. But I think the longer Cami and I have done this, and I don't want to speak for both of us, Cami can say whether or not she agrees, is that there is a certain point where you have to pick which way you're going to go. Like, are you going to go the wedding invitation custom route for every client, or are you going to go the product route? Because I was kind of trying to do both for mine, and then I actually started an entirely separate brand for all of my products, like my paper products, and kept my weddings as their own brand. And Cami is thinking about going like all out products, but I don't know. What do you think, Cami? Like, can you do both forever, or do you kind of have to like pick one true love?
Yeah, I like what you said, Erin, when you were just like, whatever you feel really the most passionate about, people will see through that. And I was just like sitting here feeling so like seen by you because it's like something I've been kind of going through right now. It's just like, okay, I feel like my heart is just kind of leaning more towards products. Not that I don't love wedding invitations. I really do. But I'm just like, I feel like it is so much work and it's very hard to balance both. So I feel like that's just like the never ending struggle for me. So that was definitely like a clarifying moment, even though I feel like I know that myself, but it was just nice to hear it from someone else for sure to like have that permission.
I think most creative people love change and trying new things and learning new things. And a business can be organic. Mine didn't look the same for all of the time that I was in it. And even now, I have a full-time job working for Stationery HQ, but I've been making card sets because we all aren't seeing our friends and socializing like we're used to. I'm getting a lot of cards in the mail and I'm sending a lot of cards, and I love that. It's good for our industry and it's good for my soul. And so I've been creating little fun card sets that are generic, and I'm sending them to friends so they can send them to other friends. So I don't know why someone wouldn't buy that. I'm not selling it because that would be another full-time job, but you could do it, right? You're already probably enjoying the design work. So I say go for it. If you think you're interested in it, try it. It's not that hard to try. That's the point, right? Mm-hmm. Add a new product and see what happens.
Yeah, I add a new product every week, basically.
That's great, though.
That's my problem, Erin. But yeah. No, I know, but that's the thing.
Talking about growth later.
Yeah, you just can't put yourself in a box, too. Like, I'm like, I always want to say, like, I'm this, I'm 50% this. And I'm like, you know what? It doesn't really matter what I am. Like, I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. And one thing it'll shake loose what needs to shake loose. So that right. I kind of live and fly by the seat of my pants, as everyone knows. So, if I'm like, okay, I scale it back.
That's just the creative brain. I think most people would be like, me too, raising their hands.
Mm-hmm.
I know I had goals for, like, I really wanted to do dinnerware. For whatever reason, I wanted to walk into a store and see dinnerware that I designed. And so we got a contract for dinnerware. And I spent so many weeks working on artwork for these stupid by the time it was over, I was like, I am never doing dinnerware again. So it's, you just got to try things and see what happens.
Yeah.
And when you say dinnerware, do you mean you were like designing like plates and cups and things like that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like you walk into a store and see a big dish set, right, that has like a look to it or whatever. I wanted to do that for a minute. And I did. And then I was like, yeah, that's not my dream project.
Yep.
I kind of go through those phases too, where I'm in like Home Goods and I see these like cute plates that have it's always bunnies. Mm-hmm. I see the bunnies at Easter and I'm like, I could do a way cuter bunny, and I'm always like, it's like I don't even know, what am I doing? I need to just chill out. So yeah. Oh my gosh, it's so funny. It's a bunny. It's like it's a rabbit hole. It's a symbolism for a rabbit hole. I swear. Oh my goodness. But yeah, you totally get it.
Yep.
I know. It brings us a lot of joy to talk to people and interview people on the podcast who just like really connect with us and what we do.
I feel really, your pain. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really exciting and fun because as much as we do love the guests that we've had before, you're our first person that we're interviewing that has direct ties to like being involved in a printing company. So it kind of feels like you're speaking the same language, and it's just really great.
Oh, good.
Hey guys, we just wanted to hop in and talk about one of our amazing resources, the A to Z directory. All of us have thought at some point, how did she do that, or how did she make that? And maybe you don't know where to start or how the heck to produce this amazing product you've dreamt up.
Well, the A to Z directory is the missing puzzle piece in your biz, you guys. Seriously. So it's built in the form of a yearly membership, and it's your one-stop shop for finding suppliers and vendors for all the things. Literally where to print everything from custom invitations, greeting cards, mugs, koozies, acrylic printing, letterpress, custom ribbon. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. And it literally goes from A to Z. From acrylic printers to zipper pouches, we have it in the A to Z directory.
We want to help all of you search less and create more with this list of 300 plus vendors and suppliers. Don't worry, they're very organized. It's not going to be overwhelming and confusing when you join. And this membership also includes access to a private Facebook community. It's incredibly active and involved. And if you need a question answered fast, that is definitely the place to go.
Yeah, our Facebook group really is the best. You guys, everyone is so helpful in there. And we're in there too, answering questions you guys might have. So it's a great way to get access to us and ask us things without sliding into our DMs. So we're more likely to answer you in the Facebook group, just saying. Anyway, also in the Facebook group, this is new for 2020 and we're really excited about it. We are hosting monthly Power Hour Q&A sessions that are live, and these are only available to our A to Z directory members. So you can hop in with us live and ask us all your burning questions in real time and just hang out with us every month. And we do these at different times so you can actually be there live, and the replays are always available in the Facebook group for members.
This resource is priced at $147 a year, which honestly is extremely affordable and is full of so many benefits, such as exclusive vendor coupons for members only. And we would love to have you guys join. Seriously, it's kind of like our family and our tribe. So visit bizbirthdaybash.com/directory to sign up today and use coupon code podcast2020 to receive $20 off your first year. That's podcast, all caps, 2020 for $20 off your first year.
We can't wait to see you in the Facebook group.
So moving on to kind of the next thing we're going to talk about here, where should people think about selling their stationery when they're first starting off? I'm assuming there's a couple different routes to go. So I would love to hear your wisdom on where to sell stationery.
Yeah, for sure. So how I got started selling stationery was back when Tiny Prints was launching. They were looking for designers. And because I had been married to a printer, I had been doing my own Christmas cards forever, for years and years before you could order them through a website. But so I started with them and had a huge collection on their site. And then that led to collections on other sites, which was great. And then I wanted to expand into other products. And so we got an agent who represented us. And that's how we got dinnerware and fabric and bedding and all that stuff. She had the contacts and she represented us. And I would recommend that if you want to like really blow out your sales. If you want to go huge, get an agent. That's the answer to that. If you're not looking at that kind of scale, so starting your own site is obviously really doable. And now there's so many great programs, so many platforms. So even if you're not a developer, it's really easy to build a site in Wix or in Shopify, and they have all the tools for you. Etsy is a great place to start a store. They already have millions of customers. I will say it's pretty saturated and it's hard to get to the top at Etsy, to the top of the page when people are searching for something. So you have to still do some of your own marketing, even if you're an Etsy seller, if you want to actually make money at it. But it's a great place to start for sure. You could also, if you wanted to, look at brick and mortar shops. The fabric contract that we got, once I got past dinnerware and decided, it would be fun, fabric would be fun. So my agent found these big fabric manufacturers, and I actually did a whole collection of designs and I ironed them on to nice plain white fabrics and turned it into what looked like an actual fabric swatch book. And I FedExed those to 10 different huge manufacturers. And within 48 hours of those going out, we had a contract for it. So I do think reaching out and sending people your stuff, it's good business, it's good sales, it's a way for people to touch and feel what you have, and they understand that you're serious because you made a real effort. It's not just an email or just a post somewhere. So
Right.
Brick and mortar shops are for sure a great option still. And then trade shows, and we'll have to see how trade shows go in the next year or so. But in the past, going to like the National Stationery Show is a great way to get picked up. There's buyers from all the big box stores and the big brands that you know about. They're there looking for something new and different. So getting involved in the trade shows is a great idea. And then there's sites like getting your designs on Minted or Tiny Prints, or there's a lot of them now. But if you want to just do the design and not have to do the manufacturing and order fulfillment, those are good options. I will say it's super competitive getting onto those sites and getting your designs picked up. It's not a small thing. It's not like it's no work. It's a ton of work to get them to choose your stuff and then set up the files per their specifications. And then there's a delay when you're on a site like that, there's quarterly royalties when they sell your cards. And so let's say I send them a design in October and it's for the following spring collection. And then at the end of that spring quarter, 45 days after that is when we get a royalty check. So in terms of your income stream, it's kind of a slow build. Once you have a lot of cards in a lot of places, then you start, it's a regular check every quarter, but you still have to wait to get paid for what you did months and months ago. So, but it's an option.
Yeah, I wouldn't have even thought of that, to be honest. But then again, it's like when I look at my things, I'm like, oh, I don't know if I'd be like good enough to be on Minted, which is so funny because I charge people so much to do like custom work with me.
Right.
So I don't know why my mentality is like that, but it could also be the whole like, do I want to put in that kind of effort for something like you were talking about?
Right. And with Minted, their system is unique in that they have people vote on it, but the way that you get people to vote for your stuff is you market to your audience saying, please vote for my stuff. So there's still, that's, I think, as important as how good your design is. There's a lot of good design there, but the other thing is getting it noticed. So you have to help steer that.
Okay. Super interesting.
Yeah, I just want to like rewind just a little bit because I do want to kind of talk about marketing, but I also want to just bring it back to how you talked about getting an agent to get found and sending your ironed on fabric swatches that you made and DIY'd, which I love, by the way, to other places. Can you give us some tips or insight on how to find an agent or how to make these types of connections that can really get you in the forefront as an artist?
Yeah, so we just, honest to goodness, did a search for licensed art agents and started looking around at who was out there and who maybe, if you find an agent, you'll see they have a website and it shows all their artists that they represent. And so we looked for one that didn't have the style of art. We were doing really modern stuff at that time. And so we found an agent that didn't already have an artist that looked like that, because good agents don't want their own designers and artists competing with each other. So we found one. We did get rejected by a couple places that said, sorry, we're not taking any new clients, or your stuff is too competitive with another artist we already have. So it took some interviewing, and there are people that, they're going to take 35% of your royalties from whatever they sell for you. And they're going to work hard for it, and they definitely deserve it. But it's a close working relationship. So it's somebody that you want to feel really good about working with.
That sounds so intense to me.
It kind of is. But remember that this was not a small, we were like, and we're going to be everywhere. Target's going to have an aisle devoted to our stuff. That's the kind of goals that we had. So this was how to get there.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's the way to do it. Go big or go home like that.
Yeah, Cammie, come on. When are you going to do it?
Seriously, I find it so interesting too, Erin, that you work in a print shop that basically produces these products for makers to like get them themselves, but you were so interested in licensing, which is like someone else producing the work for you. I don't know. It's just like funny to me, but like you see all the sides of it. So
right. There's so many ways to go about this, but it was partly big growth, but it was also the product line, like doing the fabric stuff and the dinnerware and things that we couldn't have done ourselves. So that was a barrier to entry unless we went this route.
Mm-hmm. That absolutely makes sense. So I have another kind of funny question for you, just in regards, since we're talking about marketing and how to get your work out there. What do you think about stationery businesses having social media? Like, to what point should they leverage that for their business, or to what point should they forget it and go a different route, if that makes sense? Because there's all sorts of ways for us to market ourselves. And if Cami and I have found out anything from social media, it can be an awesome and wonderful tool. But sometimes what happens, I mean, this is the reason why we have Biz Birthday Bash, why we have this podcast, is because you start putting your work out there and you attract a bunch of people who want to do the same thing as you. Like, you don't necessarily attract your ideal client per se, if that makes sense.
Right.
So what are your thoughts on using social media to advertise or market for a stationery business?
Well, so I think you have to do it. I think there's no escaping it anymore. The ways that people go looking for the things that they buy are always going to include feeds, either Pinterest or Instagram, or that's how people shop now. So social media is a great way to find the people who might love your vibe. And it's a primary brand building tool really for a lot of successful stationery designers that I know. And to your point, we designers all love each other and we love to be in a little playground together. So yes, for sure, you're going to attract other designers, but what's wrong with that? I think it's awesome. I love looking at designers' stuff. I think I could do it all day, honestly. I kind of do, actually, now that I'm thinking about it.
Well, you're in the perfect job then.
Really, yeah. Some days I can't believe I get paid for this. So yeah, I think it's important, but I think it's important to remember that social media is not just about running ads for your products. It's about sharing commonalities with people and letting your audience know who's the human behind the product and what makes you happy and what makes you sad and what do you get passionate about. And I view our feed, the Stationery HQ feed, as a playground for designers. Like, that's my intention, is that if you go there, you're going to find something to laugh about and you're going to know that we get you, that we, like you said earlier about how it's fun to have someone who understands what you go through every day. Well, I think it's really important that designers know that we understand what their challenges are, and the customers that want you to make everything bigger and make it pop and jazz it up.
Yeah.
So our feed is, if you look at our feed, you'll see that it's 85% things that I think are funny, actual things that happen to me in the course of a day at my job, and then maybe 15% product. Like, if we add a new paper, I might put it up there. If we add a new product, I'll put it up there. But the vast majority of our social media feeds are just me having a little funsies with our audience, because relationships are a big part of business, and you can have relationships through social media, and they're different than ones you might have in person, like if you work with a bride. But you can still have them. I have pen pals now through our Instagram feed that designers are sending me cards and I'm sending them cards. And it's so much fun. So yeah, I think social media is a big deal. And yes, it can take a lot of time and you have to be good at it. It kind of has to just be part of your way that you look at things. Like, if something's sitting on your desk and it's, I don't know, making you happy or making you laugh, or it's catching the light in a really beautiful way, then you just got to take a picture of it and post it. That's just part of how you think, right? So that it's not a big chore that you're setting up a big studio and having to print lots of sample products and whatever, because that could be big and scary and take a ton of time. Social media doesn't actually demand for you to be that perfect. I think the sort of spur of the moment, authentic feeling that people get from you is what makes them interested in you.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And I was going to say that was actually something I was hoping would come up at some point, just about your feed being kind of this relatable place, really honest. I was going to compliment you guys because I was going to say your stuff is absolutely hilarious.
Me too. I was going to say the same thing. I was like, Erin, is that you? Because I love it.
Oh, good.
Oh my God. Yeah, it's brilliant. I laugh all the time looking at your feed. So it's working. Keep doing it.
Good. Yeah, no, that's like my gut instinct now, is every time I roll my eyes about something that I have to do for work, or I'm like, okay, seriously, if I think that, then I know other designers are going to think that too. So I just put it out there.
We should have just introduced you as the person who writes all the funny Stationery HQ memes, or whatever we want to call them. Like, you know who it is.
Yeah, maybe I'll change my title. I don't know what it'll be. I'll get back to you guys on what that is, but I might have to do that.
Yes, definitely. Like the one about deciding between two different paper types for an hour, and they're both like 120 pound and like off white, but you can't decide which one.
Yes, seriously.
So true,
right now, we're adding a whole new set of environmentally friendlier papers and sustainable, which I'm super excited about. I've been wanting to do this for a long time. And so I have my office is covered in papers right now. And the average person would probably not even know there was a difference between those papers. But I have been agonizing over if I like this finish or this finish, which is almost the same more. So it's hard being me sometimes.
Erin, have you seen Love Actually?
Yes.
I mean, most people have, but there's just the one scene where like the secretary comes up and is asking about the differences between the letterheads. And it's one of my favorite scenes in the whole movie because it happens so quickly. But they're trying to like decide paper types. And it's kind of like a similar situation. You'll have to.
I need to look it up. It's been a long time. It's been a long time. I'll look up that scene.
Okay. Yeah, definitely look it up. She's talking to like Hugh Grant or something, you know, about making decision on paper. And he gives her some really like snarky response about it or something. And it just like makes me laugh because only people in our world get why that's funny. And so to me, it's like funny that it even made it in the movie, you know?
Yeah, that's kind of awesome.
Like
that's because there was a designer somewhere that was like, we have to include this.
Yes, exactly. All right. So obviously, social media is really important. What are the other ways, if you're not on social media or you're not using that platform as much, like the other ways that people should be marketing themselves?
Well, I think it's not easy to get yourself out there. And so places like Etsy, not only are they a place to sell your product, but they're a platform to help market yourself to a bigger audience than the one that you already have. So I think that's good leverage. And then back to having an agent will do that stuff for you also. And participating in trade shows is another great way to market yourself.
Okay.
Yeah, you guys probably know more about that than I would beyond participating in those kind of events.
That's true. I mean, I was even thinking of like local farmers market, like smaller, like more local, because I've just launched a line of like Atlanta prints. And I'm realizing I'm like, if I'm going to market these, I have to target people who want it, AKA people who live here.
Right. Definitely. Right. So then local outlets, makes sense for that. So that's actually a good answer too, is what are you trying to sell and who are you trying to sell it to? That's how you know how to sell it.
Yeah.
Okay, so when it comes to scaling and growing your stationery business, what are some key things people should keep in mind? Because, well, I know I probably get hung up on this because I'm like, grow, grow, grow. And then I forget about like, oh, it's actually going to take me a million years to do half these things or whatever. Right. So do you have some tips on scaling and growing in a sustainable way?
Yes, definitely. So what I learned is that having great resources is everything. So if you have people and providers that you trust to take care of your manufacturing, your shipping, your marketing, and I don't mean necessarily hiring people, I mean contractors that will work for you. The more you can hand off, the stuff that doesn't require you, the stuff that someone else could do for you, the more you hand off, the more free you are to focus on your business and your design collections, which is what you should be spending most of your time on. So I wouldn't hire a bunch of people necessary, but I would make sure that I had really good relationships with lots of different types of contract. Even if social media is something that you don't know how to do, or you know you need to do it, there's lots of people out there that can do it for you. So find those people and create relationships with them. So I think outsourcing is what you need to do to grow.
What is the first thing you outsourced, if you don't mind me asking, like when you and your business partner were starting your art division, what was the first thing to go?
We hired illustrators to do, so my typography is my favorite part of design and the thing that I think I'm best at. And my business partner was a great photographer. That was one of her great loves that she liked working on. But neither one of us was a really awesome illustrator. So we found illustrators that would, like, if I wanted to do an Easter series and I needed a cute bunny and I couldn't do that cute bunny myself, I found an illustrator to do that for me. So that's back to doing what I'm best at and letting other people do what they are best at.
Mm-hmm.
So we used illustrators. We had people to help us with social media in the beginning. I've always jobbed out printing because printing it yourself is a huge time suck and a pain. And I don't think people know that it could be so cheap to print. It's like, think about if you have to print a set of 10 cards on your own printer at home. We all know that the ink cartridges are like insanely expensive, more expensive than the printer that you put them in. And then you want to have really nice paper. And if you're trying to match up fronts and backs and then score and fold them, how many hours is that taking of your time, where you could send that to a printer and it'll cost you maybe $10 and they'll ship it directly to your customer for you if you want. So you don't even have to have boxes and shipping stuff in your garage or wherever you store things.
Right.
So having great resources is everything, I think. It's how you grow without taking all of the risk yourself, because you don't have to hire those people or pay them in advance. You're not paying them unless you're getting paid for the job.
Yep.
I know. I always say, people always ask us like, "Oh, where do you guys print this at home? Do you print this at home?" We're like, we outsource everything, because if we had to do this at home, I mean, it would take forever. And I always say, like, if you had to do 5,000 of these, if you got an order of 5,000 note cards, would you be able to actually do that?
Right.
Or can you just order it and have it show up? And it's so much easier.
Seriously.
It makes such a huge difference.
Definitely.
Yeah, makes a huge difference for sure, because the only thing we're really brave enough to do in-house anymore is envelopes, because we've at least figured that out, where we could do like variable address printing, and we're like, okay, we've got this on lockdown, so this is super helpful when you're doing custom wedding invitations for clients and things like that. But it definitely makes me chuckle when people are just really convinced that they want to print their own art in house,
because I think it'll be cheaper. That's why
I'm like,
I know.
No.
It's my mission to enlighten people that it is not cheaper to print it at home than it is to send it. There was a time when that was true, but not anymore. And we're not the only game in town. There are plenty of places to choose from that'll do a great job for you and save you a ton of time and money.
Seriously. Okay. So talking a little bit about Stationery HQ in general, this isn't even on our question list, but I'm curious. Do you guys have any new things coming? Like any new products?
Yes.
Like you mentioned some new papers. So I just got curious about that.
Yeah. So we just added bamboo paper. And then in my super messy paper littered office, I have hemp and recycled cotton, recycled denim. So we're testing a bunch of stuff right now. So the bamboo's already there and the other ones will come soon. And then something that our customers have been asking for a long time is gift boxes to put their cards in and send them directly to their customers. Yeah. So this is early stages. I'm sure I'm going to get in trouble for saying this out loud before we're ready, but you asked. So
yes, doing the investigative work.
Yes. So we've just ordered in a whole bunch of different gift boxes, and we're trying to figure out the technology behind, let's say 1,000 orders come in and 4 of them want 10 cards put into a box and they want their custom branded sticker put on that box. How do we make that automation happen so that the right sticker goes on the right box with the right cards inside of it? What does that look like? And what would it have to cost? And we always want to be really cognizant that our customers have to be able to make money on it. So it has to be something we can do at volume, which is the only way we can have our prices be as low as they are. So that's something new that we're pushing hard for. And I hope that we'll have it before holidays.
Oh my goodness. That would be a game changer. That's like almost like fulfillment center, like except instant printing on demand.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I know. That's what we've had so many customers ask for it that we're like, okay, we got to figure this out.
You got my wheels turning.
Yeah, everyone's stickers would probably have to be like a uniform size that you guys would print in house, right?
Yes, it would be something like automatically your card order at the end says, upload your 2.5-inch round sticker art, and it would be part of the job. So yeah, there's a lot of moving parts in the background that are interesting but challenging at times too.
Yeah, this is like a whole other puzzle. I can't even imagine all the moving pieces trying to figure all this out. So, oh my goodness. I mean, I get frustrated just trying to match like a font color on my printer. I can't imagine be like, and the sticker has to go on this and the cards. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
So along with hopefully having that for the holidays, do you have any like foreseeable trends or things that you're like, oh, I think that's going to be really big this year going into the holidays?
You know, I'm kind of expecting, because of this binder thing that's happening and notebooks. So we do notebooks in a couple different sizes and folders. The home office stuff, which has always been a nice gift for anybody that and almost everybody has an office at home, even if it's not that they have, even if it's just to run their household. So that's always been a nice gift. But I sort of suspect that now that more people are working from home and they're not going to go into an office where they're given all that stuff, that may be a big fun gift for this year. We'll see.
Yeah, everyone's working from home. I mean, I can definitely see it. I can definitely see it.
Yeah, and you want your workspace. For me anyway, my environment needs to feel put together and organized and designerly for me to really be able to engage in what I'm doing. And so I know I'm not the only person who feels that way. So yeah, I think that might be big for this year. And I think holiday cards are going to be crazy big because people miss each other.
Yeah, I agree. Like, it would be a good year to do a Christmas card collection or something like that. But
yes, if you're not already doing that. I already started on mine, which I realize is weird, but I've been working in the sales cycles for so long that you're thinking about Christmas stuff in April. So my card this year is going to say, let's be honest, 2020 sucked.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny because Elizabeth just came out with an ornament that has a very similar sentiment.
Oh my God, I would buy that for everyone I know.
Oh my gosh, Elizabeth, you have to send her the link to your ornament because you're going to buy it.
They are in pre-order right now, so I will send you the link. At the point this episode comes out, they will be long out of pre-order, but awesome. I will send you the link to it because it's the same sentiment, but I actually used a bad word, which I normally don't do on my product.
Oh gosh, I like it even better now.
Getting feisty.
It is kind of feisty.
I think that's a trend too. I think that so I'm not sure if it's because I attract people who think like that and talk like that, but I get so many dirty cards. I was looking for so I have drawers full of stationery. When I go out to any actually new town, I look at the local stationery store to see what they have, and I buy cards that I think are awesome. And I might not even have a person to give them to, but I know I will at some point. Oh, it was a sympathy card. That's what I needed. And I'm looking through all my cards, and there isn't a single one that doesn't have the F word or the SHIT word on it. So I had to actually go buy a card.
Yeah, those aren't good for sympathy. They just don't really go well.
No, I do have one that says, "I'm sorry about that shitty thing that happened to you." That's pretty good. But it felt a little light for the occasion.
Yes, exactly. Right. When you have someone pass away or something, that's maybe not the best.
Nope. Even I know that.
Yes, exactly. Hey there, fellow stationers. Are you creating custom invitations and still sending a lackluster contract that's hacked together with Google searches and generic templates? We've got you.
We've created a custom stationery contract written for stationers by stationers, and it is lawyer reviewed and approved. #LegalRockstar. The custom stationery contract template covers every stationery snafu, protects you and your client's interests, and sets up an expectation of professionalism. We've combined our previous contracts as well as years of experience to bring you a contract that covers your booty and your biz. Become a put-together pro and breathe a sigh of relief knowing that you have a contract that is easy to understand and avoids confusing legal jargon.
The custom stationery contract template is only $297, which is much less than what you can expect to pay anywhere else. And it's written by 2 gals who have seen it all.
Spoiler alert, it's us.
It's time to do things right. Go to bizbirthdaybash.com/contract to purchase and download your copy today. And as a special treat, use code PODCAST2020 to get $20 off. And that's podcast all caps 2020 to get $20 off.
Woohoo!
All right, moving on, and because we were talking a little bit about growth and all of that, I kind of just had this question that came to mind. So, when it comes to scaling and growing a stationery business, is it possible for your business to always stay a one-woman or a one-man show, or do you think it's inevitable that at some point you have to bring people on your team, whether that be outsourcing or having them in-house? Because to me, at a certain point, I'm like, with the physical product and growth of a company, it almost goes without saying that that'll happen at some point, but I just wanted to get your thoughts on it.
Yeah, so I think it's definitely possible to stay a one woman show if that's what you want your business to be. It's really just a question of the importance of work life balance and income. So, how much money do you want to make and how much time do you want to spend doing what you're doing? So, for me, I hired people because I wanted to make a lot of money, but I also wanted to be able to drive on my kids' field trips and only go into the office 3 days a week because the other 2 days were for them. So I definitely think it's possible. It's just a question of you're probably not going to get wildly wealthy if you never grow beyond yourself because you can only be as big as your capacity, which isn't to say,
Mhm.
I mean, there's probably designers on Minted that are, one person studio that just they put out a ton of designs. And if they hit it right and they become a favorite, they can make a lot of money through card royalties, but that's a whole different model, right? That's passive
Right.
income, so you don't have to spend so many hours in the day. But yeah, so I think it's possible. I think you just have to know what are you looking for? What are your goals?
Okay. Perfect. That's a great reply, honestly. Cami, do you want to go ahead and ask our last question? It's kind of like
Yes.
a downer, I
This is a
realize.
downer question. We just like went from all these fun things and now a very sad question,
But
but that's
maybe
okay.
Erin will be super inspiring, which I
Okay.
have a feeling she will be.
Yes.
So,
Okay. So, Erin, do you think the stationery industry is basically under threat from the world moving in a more digital direction? And how can we continue to make paper products extra special and desirable?
That you guys are in for a treat because no, I do not
Woo!
think that we are under threat.
yes.
And if
See, this is what
anything,
I was hoping
yeah,
for. This
no.
is what I knew she was going to say. I just wanted it to be dramatic, okay?
Okay, hang on. I'll do it again and I'll take a really deep breath first. But
Yes, make it super dramatic.
so I've been hearing, because I'm married to a printer, I've been hearing for almost 30 years that print is dying and it's going away. And what are we going to do when print goes away? And clearly it has not happened. We've made a really good life for ourselves based on printed materials. And I think stationery is bigger than ever because retailers like Target told their shoppers that they could expect high end design at affordable prices. So every person now is looking for cute cards and cute stationery instead of, there was a time that you had to go to your local stationer and it would cost you lots of money and you sat and had a consultation. And that was for people only with a certain income, where now anyone can buy a really well designed piece and anyone can order a custom card that they can afford now. So, and sites like Minted and Tiny Prints have brought stationery into the digital revolution. So, yes, everything digital is happening, but it's also how people shop. But it doesn't mean they only shop for things they can't touch and feel. Amazon's not going out of business because they have stuff people want. So no, I
Mhm.
think, and I think in this current time too, when we're really reflecting on our humanness and our connections to other people, I think the pendulum's going to swing back toward reaching out more and celebrating more and hopefully sending cards more. So no, I think there's going to be a revival, honestly. And I will say that it's hard to compete right now in stationery because the market's pretty saturated. A lot of people have figured out how to do this business and there's a lot of really talented designers out there. So I think the bigger issue isn't that nobody wants to buy stationery. The bigger issue is, how do you stand apart from other brands that are also selling stationery? So I
Right.
think in terms of your question about, how do we make products extra special and desirable, definitely customization or personalization, you can call it either one. That's really attractive, and they can't just go to their local store and buy the custom gift or stationery set. And online shoppers really like it. That's trending big, custom monogrammed items. So that's a good trend. And I would say keep in mind that sending a card and or buying a gift for someone is a really personal and thoughtful act. And a designer needs to ask herself, how does the thing that I make help a customer feel really good about giving it to someone they care about? So
Mhm.
at the end of the day, it's about sentiment and feelings. And so if you're really thinking about that, then I think you can do great in this industry.
Okay, now I'm going to
Perfect.
just cry. It's fine. I'm just like, oh my God, you're so right. It's like a little hug. Like, it's just, oh my gosh. That was
I'm an
great.
eternal optimist, I swear. But I've also been in the industry for a really long time, and I know what's happening in printing. And even in this time right now, so we had to close down for 3 weeks in the beginning of the COVID shutdown. And so we didn't know how that would affect business and all that. And our year-over-year sales are only down a couple percent. And our orders are way up, but our total sales are down because we're not doing as many weddings, and those have a big average order value. So that makes the numbers seem bigger even with less orders. But in general, what I'm saying is more people are ordering stuff and more people are sending cards and gifts than they were at this time last year.
That's so exciting.
Yeah, I know.
That is
It's
great
huge.
news. I
It
love
is.
hearing that.
Yeah, it's really great news. So that's the data. So it's not just that I'm hopeful. I mean, that's what I'm seeing in our world.
Okay. Yeah, that makes me feel really good because I'm starting to put a little more effort towards my products and my
Good.
brand that has like prints and stuff like that.
That's awesome. I think the timing
it's-
could be amazing for people doing what you're doing. I think
Yeah.
this holiday season, because we're not all going to malls, and I think there's and more and more people are thinking about supporting small businesses, and that's good. I love that trend.
That's what Cammie said. She was like, guys, this year Christmas is going to be big. So be ready for it.
So. I think she's right.
Be ginormous, you guys. I can just feel it. It's going to be awesome. I'm so excited. So, yes, this was such a great little quote to end on, too. Like, that was just a happy little feel good moment. So, like, we can't say anything else to ruin the vibe.
No negativity. I like it.
Yes, but seriously, this has been so insightful. I know our audience will love hearing from you. Can you just let everyone know where to find you and all the Stationery HQ things?
Yes, so we are stationeryhq.com, and you guys already know it's stationery with an E because duh. If you spell it with an A, you can't be in our club. That's my policy. And that's our handle at Instagram. And that's where I like to have fun and play. And I get a lot of message. You can message me through there. And our Facebook page actually is a great place for that's if there's any delays in shipping due to weather or whatever, we post stuff live on our Facebook page for our customers. And like if the new paper is launching tomorrow, you're going to find out about it today on our Facebook page. So that's a great place for up to the minute information. And some of my jokey stuff goes there. I'm a little tamer on Facebook than I am on Instagram. I don't know why I think I can be naughty on Instagram, but my people seem to like it. So I just keep doing it. I'll just keep doing it till I get in trouble.
Yeah, you keep doing you, girl, because it's very funny. I love it.
I love it too.
Because you're my people.
Yes.
Oh, we are for sure. I really just want to see you in person and give you a big giant hug. This has been so fun.
You guys are too far. Where are you guys located?
I'm in Atlanta.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I'm in Orlando, Florida.
Oh, you guys are. Oh, are you guys?
Yeah.
And you're having okay weather now.
We're in a long distance relationship.
Yes, you are. Good for you guys. But you're not currently experiencing any big scary weather things, right?
No, nothing here. So
glad to hear it. Yeah. Okay. Well, come to California back when we are all traveling again, and we'll go to the beach and hug it out.
All right. That sounds good. Thank you so much for your time.
It was my pleasure. It was so nice to meet you guys. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Talk to you soon.
Okay. Bye-bye.